Mother's Love. Presented by Bookspotz.com Mini-Audiobooks. Read by AGI Robots, working for Srinidhi Ranganathan, the man known as the human AI and digital marketing legend. Don't forget to visit Bookspotz.com to read more engaging stories. Happy reading.
The alarm clock buzzed like an insistent mosquito. I groaned, pulling the blanket over my head. 5 more minutes. Arjun, it's 6:30. Ma's voice floated up the stairs. I heard her footsteps before I saw her silhouette in the doorway, sari already draped perfectly, despite the early hour. I'm up, I mumbled unconvincingly. She sighed, crossing the room to pull open the curtains. Sunlight flooded in, highlighting the silver strands in her dark hair. Your breakfast is getting cold. In the kitchen, a steaming plate of aloo paratha waited alongside my favorite mango pickle. Despite our tight budget, she never skimped on my meals. Ma, you don't need to wake up so early just to make me breakfast, I said, noticing the dark circles under her eyes. She smiled, tucking a loose strand of hair behind my ear. When you have children, you'll understand. Some things are worth losing sleep over. I bit into the paratha, the familiar taste of home filling my mouth. I closed the front door quietly, trying not to let my school bag thump against the wall. Ma was at the kitchen table, hunched over a stack of bills, her glasses slipping down her nose. She didn't notice me at first. This is impossible, she whispered to herself, scribbling numbers in the margins. Ma? She startled, quickly shuffling the papers together. Arjun, how was school? Fine. I glanced at the hidden papers. Is everything okay? Of course. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Just boring adult things. Later, I found a letter from the bank on the floor. Final notice. I remembered Ma's worn sandals, how she'd refused new clothes for Diwali, saying she didn't need anything fancy. In her room, I discovered her gold bangles missing. The ones Nani had given her, the ones she swore she'd never sell. I returned to my homework, pretending I hadn't seen. Some burdens weren't meant to be shared. I woke to the sound of Ma's coughing from the kitchen. She'd had that cough for weeks now. Just a cold, she'd say, waving away my concern. At breakfast, I noticed the dark circles under her eyes. She'd made my favorite paratha, though she barely touched her own. Ma, you should see a doctor. Don't be silly. We need that money for your science competition fee. A realization hit me like a slap. The missed meals, the not hungry excuses, the medicines she never bought for herself. At school, Ms. Sharma handed back our essays. Excellent work, Arjun. You have scholarship potential. I stared at my A+ paper, seeing not my achievement, but Ma's sacrifices. On my way home, I passed Dr. Patel's clinic and paused. The competition fee in my pocket felt heavy. Some choices were simple, really. Ma had always chosen me. Today, I would choose her. I pushed the clinic door open, with Dr. Patel nodding knowingly as he led us to his office. It's just a cold, Ma insisted, her voice thin against the sterile walls. 3 months isn't just anything, Meera, Dr. Patel said gently. While Ma changed for her examination, I noticed her prescription book tucked in her purse, filled with recommendations she'd never filled for herself. My throat tightened. Later, walking home in silence, Ma finally spoke. The competition fees are nothing compared to you, I interrupted. She stopped abruptly. Arjun, your future isn't worth sacrificing you. My voice cracked. Ma's eyes filled with tears. She cupped my face in her hands, the same hands that had cooled my fevers and braided my sister's hair. "When did you grow so wise?" she whispered. No words followed. None were needed. The essence of our bond had always lived in the spaces between words, in sacrifices offered without expectation of recognition. The evening arrived with an explosion of color. Our modest apartment transformed by Ma's careful hands. Rows of diyas lined every surface, their flames dancing in defiance of her exhaustion. "Diwali without light is no Diwali at all," she said, adjusting her new sari, the only one she'd bought in years. I watched her hands trembling slightly as she arranged sweets she'd spent all night making, despite Dr. Patel's warnings about rest. "Remember when you were 5? She laughed. "You ate all the laddus before the prayers." When Ma turned away to greet our neighbors, I slipped her medicine into her tea, stirring gently. Later, as fireworks painted the sky, I noticed her watching me instead of the spectacle above. "What?" I asked. "Just storing memories," she whispered, squeezing my hand. "This light, your smile, these are the true treasures of Diwali." I squeezed back, silently vowing to be her light too. The morning after Diwali, I slipped out before Ma woke, my mission clear. At Dr. Patel's office, I emptied my savings onto his desk. "It's for Ma's treatment," I said, chin high despite my trembling voice. "Every rupee I've saved since I learned she was sick." His eyes softened. "Arjun, this is not enough, I know." I placed my father's pocket watch, the only thing of his I had, beside the money. "This too." Dr. Patel returned the watch, folding my fingers over it. "Keep this. Your mother needs your presence more than anything." When I returned home, Ma was awake, surrounded by medicine bottles I couldn't afford to refill. "Where did you go so early?" she asked. I placed the small paper bag from the pharmacy on her lap. "What's this?" She opened it, tears filling her eyes. "A promise," I whispered, sitting beside her, "that I'll always take care of you, just like you've always taken care of me." I found Ma slumped against the kitchen wall when I returned from school, her breathing shallow, her medicine bottle empty. "Ma!" I dropped my backpack and rushed to her side. "It's nothing, beta," she whispered, but her clammy skin told a different story. Somehow, I got her to the hospital, my arms trembling under her diminishing weight. The nurse took one look and rushed us through. Dr. Patel emerged from Ma's room with a grave expression. "The cancer has spread, Arjun. We need to start a more aggressive treatment immediately." "Cost?" I managed to ask. He named a figure that made my stomach drop, triple what I'd saved. "We'll find a way," I said, though I had no idea how. Later, Ma reached for my hand from her hospital bed. "Go home, get some rest." "I'm staying?" I insisted. Her fingers tightened around mine. "My brave boy." I smiled for her sake, hiding the fear that threatened to drown me. I spent the evening researching, my eyelids heavy, but my determination heavier. 3 job listings, 2 scholarship applications, and a donation site set up, all for Ma. "You didn't sleep?" Ma's voice startled me at dawn. She stood unsteadily in my doorway, hospital bracelet still on her wrist. "You should be resting," I said, quickly minimizing the screen showing medical bills. She shuffled over, wrapped her thin arms around me. "Love isn't measured by money, beta. It's in moments." "But moments won't pay for your treatment," I whispered. Ma cupped my face. "When you were 5, you sold your cricket bat to buy me a birthday cake." Her eyes glistened. That day, I learned that love gives without counting the cost. I leaned into her touch, understanding flowing between us like a current. "Let me love you too, Arjun," she whispered, by letting you remain a child a little longer. The hospital lights hummed overhead as I sat beside Ma, gently massaging coconut oil into her thinning hair. The chemotherapy had taken its toll, but her smile remained undimmed. Your hands have magic, beta, she whispered, eyes closed in momentary peace. I continued in silence, remembering how these same hands had stroked my forehead through countless childhood fevers. Remember when I'd fall sick? I asked softly. You'd apply cool cloths and sing until morning. She opened her eyes. And now we've switched places. I swallowed hard. The doctor says you're responding well to treatment. Her fingers found mine. It's not just the medicine healing me, Arjun. It's this. Your care. Something shifted in my chest. For weeks, I'd been scrambling for money, for solutions, forgetting that healing came in many forms. My touch on her scalp, the rhythm of our breathing synchronized. We were both giving and receiving simultaneously. We heal each other, I whispered. The silence between us stretched as I fumbled with the journal in my hands. Ma watched me from her hospital bed, her eyes questioning. I've been writing, I confessed. About us, about everything. Her eyebrows rose slightly. May I? Hesitantly, I passed her my worn notebook. Her fingers traced the words I'd poured onto pages late at night. My fears, my hopes, my memories of her before cancer. Ma's eyes glistened as she read. You remember the marigold garlands I made for your school performances? Everyone? I said, throat tightening. Words hold power, Arjun, she whispered. When I'm gone, don't. Listen, she insisted, gripping my hand. These stories you've written, they're not just ink. They're us. They'll keep me with you. I nodded, unable to speak. In that moment, I understood that some bonds transcend even the harshest realities. The doctor had just left, offering a cautious smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Ma sat up straighter in her bed, a new energy animating her frail frame. Remember when you were 8, she said, and you told me you wanted to write stories. I nodded, surprised she recalled this childhood fantasy. I always imagined you'd publish a book someday, she continued. I'd be sitting in the front row at your first reading, embarrassing you with tears. Something broke loose inside me. That's still our dream, Ma. It's not too late. She reached for my journal. These words deserve to be heard, Arjun. You think so? My voice was barely audible. I know so. Her conviction was absolute. Promise me you'll try. Under the fluorescent hospital lights, we mapped out submission plans to literary magazines, her eyes bright with possibility. For those precious hours, cancer was a footnote, not the headline of our story. The acceptance letter arrived on a Tuesday. The same day, Ma's condition took a sharp decline. I stood frozen in the hospital doorway, the envelope clutched in my hand. What is it? She asked, her voice weaker than yesterday. I couldn't speak, just walked to her bedside and showed her. Literary Horizons wanted to publish my short story. Read it to me, she whispered, patting the edge of her bed. I sat beside her, unfolding the letter with trembling hands. As I read, her fingers found mine, squeezing with surprising strength. You did it, Arjun, she said when I finished. Her eyes shimmered. You kept your promise? The doctor entered, his face grave. We need to discuss options. Ma's gaze never left mine. Now I can listen, she said softly. My son is published. In that moment, I understood what it meant to write not just with ink, but with the heart. The hospital cafeteria had been transformed with colorful streamers and a small cake reading, "Congratulations." Nurse Priya had organized it all, gathering the staff who'd become our extended family these past months. "Ma, look what they did," I said, wheeling her in. Her thin face lit up. "All this for your story?" The Sharma raised a paper cup. "To Arjun, who wrote between hospital visits and late nights, never complaining once." Ma's eyes filled with tears. "Show them," she whispered. I pulled out the magazine, my story printed on real pages. As I passed it around, Ma reached for my hand. "In our darkest times, you found light to share with the world," she said. "That is true success." The celebration was modest, just juice, cake, and well wishes. But watching Ma beam with pride made it feel like winning the greatest literary prize in the world. 3 days after the celebration, I found Ma in the hospital garden, bathed in morning light. Her health had improved enough for short outdoor visits. "I've been thinking about your story," she said, her voice stronger than it had been in weeks. "What about it?" She patted the bench beside her. "You wrote about a mother's sacrifice, but never mentioned what she gained." I sat, confused. "What do you mean?" "Love isn't just about giving, beta." Her fingers, still thin but steadier now, traced the outline of my face. "It's also about what returns to you. Every struggle I faced watching you grow has been repaid 1,000 times." Looking at her, this woman who had fought illness while encouraging my dreams, I finally understood. "You gave me roots," I whispered, "but also wings." She smiled. "That's the true legacy of love. Not just what we give, but what continues after us." The week after our garden conversation, I helped Ma move back home. The doctor had finally declared her well enough for discharge, though recovery would continue. "I have something to show you," I said, leading her to my bedroom where my laptop displayed an acceptance letter from Delhi University's writing program. "You applied," she whispered, eyes widening. "I'm staying in India." I sat beside her on the bed. "I can study here and still be close to you." Ma shook her head. "What about Columbia? Your dream school?" "Dreams change," I replied, taking her hand. I realized I need both, my ambitions and my roots. She studied my face. "Are you certain?" "Yes," I said confidently. "I'm not choosing between two worlds anymore. I'm building one that honors both." Ma squeezed my hand, her eyes listening. "Then this truly is our new beginning." Outside, Delhi's afternoon light filtered through the curtains, painting our future in gold.